In the quiet chambers of my heart, where whispers of duty often echo, your presence lingers like a delicate fragrance carried on the wind, soft and insistent, reminding me that even within the walls of expectation, love is a sovereign force that bends the rigid contours of my world. I have walked among shadows of protocol, where every smile is measured, every gesture rehearsed. Yet in your eyes I see a freedom that defies the gravity of titles and crowns. Your laughter, gentle yet unwavering, sketches constellations across the ceilings of my mind, constellations that do not fade with time, constellations that illuminate the darkest recesses of my resolve. I am drawn to the cadence of your voice, as though it were a melody composed before the first dawn, a song that travels through the corridors of my solitude, binding the moments of my days into a tapestry threaded with yearning. And in this longing I find not fear, but the courage to dream in colors forbidden by circumstance. Each step I take in the sunlight of our shared moments is laden with the awareness of your essence entwined with mine, as though the very earth beneath me remembers the imprint of your presence. I trace the memory of your touch as though it were scripture, a sacred writing that teaches me patience, resilience, and the audacity to hope. In the hush of evening, when the world yields to shadows and my reflection becomes both confidant and witness, I feel your spirit beside me, a companion who transcends space and time. Your words, even when unspoken, resonate like a river's current, shaping the contours of my thoughts, wearing smooth the rough stones of my anxieties. I have known the weight of expectation, the sharp edges of duty, yet with you, I learn that love can soften, can heal, can render the unbearable beautiful. Each heartbeat is a testament, a quiet rebellion against the loneliness imposed by circumstance, an affirmation that in your existence I have discovered a poetry more profound than any verse I have ever read. There are nights when the moonlight spills across the gardens of my reflection, and I am transported to a place where only your laughter and my breath converge in harmonious rhythm. I imagine the touch of your hand, the press of your palm against mine, and the world, in all its grandeur and obligation, falls away until there is only the sublime simplicity of being near you. I write letters to you in silence, each thought a syllable of devotion, each sigh a stanza in the quiet poem that binds us together. Even in absence, your presence commands my attention, shaping the angles of my mind, guiding the wayward thoughts into corridors of remembrance and desire. I have been schooled in the art of restraint, trained to temper passion with propriety, yet with you, restraint becomes an echo rather than a barrier, a whisper that merely enhances the resonance of what I feel. Love, I realize, is not a chain but a wind that lifts, a current that carries, a force that renders every moment spent in its grace infinitely precious. When dawn paints the horizon with gentle hues, I see you reflected in the world's awakening, as though every light that touches the earth seeks to honor the depth of your existence. Your essence permeates even the smallest fragments of my day, the turn of a page, the scent of fresh blooms, the soft rustle of silk against my skin. I imagine that in some hidden chamber of your own thoughts, you too feel the subtle symphony of our connection, the quiet resonance that binds your heart to mine, even when distance insists on separation. I find myself walking slowly, deliberately, as though each step could carry a message across the invisible threads that connect us. In your gaze, I discover a sanctuary, a place untouched by expectation, where I am both sovereign and vulnerable, free to dream with the innocence of a child, yet strengthened by the knowledge of who I am. And in this duality, this paradox of strength and tenderness, I realize that love is the language through which my soul recognizes yours, and in this recognition, I am endlessly whole. Your laughter lingers in my mind like sunlight on water, fracturing into shards of warmth that illuminate even the most shadowed corners of my thought. I treasure the echo of your voice, each syllable a thread weaving through the tapestry of my days. Even when we are apart, I feel the gravity of your presence, a magnetic force that pulls my spirit toward yours, that reshapes the geometry of my loneliness into a constellation of longing and hope. I dwell on memories of moments both grand and fleeting, realizing that the simplest gestures, your glance, your smile, the brush of your hand, contain an eternity that no crown or ceremony could ever match. With you, love becomes an art form, each interaction a brushstroke on a canvas that stretches beyond time, beyond the confines of expectation. And I am moved to wonder at the inexplicable beauty of this feeling, that two souls can recognize one another with such clarity and depth that the world itself seems to pause, awed, for a heartbeat in the presence of what is pure and unwavering. I have walked through halls of gold and stone, attended ceremonies steeped in tradition, yet the only crown that truly matters is the one forged in your smile, radiant and sovereign over the landscapes of my heart. In your eyes I glimpse the reflection of the person I aspire to be, brave, compassionate, and unafraid of the vulnerability that accompanies true connection. You have shown me that love is not merely a sentiment to be whispered behind closed doors, but a force that transforms, that elevates, that makes even the most ordinary moments shimmer with significance. I carry your presence with me into every chamber, every gathering, every solemn ritual, as though your essence alone can steady the trembling weight of expectation. And when I find a quiet corner, far from prying eyes, I linger there with thoughts of you, tracing invisible patterns in the air, imagining your hand in mine, feeling the pulse of your being echo through mine. In this sacred intimacy, I discover a freedom and a clarity that are themselves acts of devotion. A poetry written not on paper, but in the very fabric of our entwined existences. Evening descends with a hush, a velvet curtain drawn over the edges of the world, and I feel your nearness as if it were a gentle tide brushing against the shore of my consciousness. Every heartbeat resonates with your name, every breath carries the memory of your closeness, and I am reminded that even in silence, love speaks with a clarity unmatched by words. I imagine the tender brush of your fingers against mine, the warmth of your hand as a harbor against the tempests of my anxieties. With you, the future seems less a chain of obligations and more a horizon painted with possibility. Each day an opportunity to witness the unfolding of our shared journey. I write your name in the margins of my thoughts, inkless yet indelible, a secret testament to the devotion that blooms quietly within me. And in this quiet, I'm sustained by the knowledge that love, true and unwavering, need not be loud to be powerful, need not be adorned to be eternal. It is in the gentle, in the steadfast, in the patient presence of one heart attuned to another that I find the poetry of your existence. I recall the fleeting moments when our paths intersected by chance, yet every encounter carried the weight of destiny, a silent orchestration beyond our comprehension. Each smile you offered became a lantern, illuminating corners of my soul previously shrouded in shadow, guiding me toward an understanding of love that is at once profound and tender. I have learned that longing is not a weakness, but a bridge, connecting the solitary spaces within us with the vibrancy of shared experience.